Year one was always meant to be the sort of preliminary stage, sort of an exploration of different ideas. We've continued bringing more sustainable palm oil into the markets by growing the certified base. The other part which we basically worked on was trying to get these ideas around what is sustainable production in terms of low-cost production and getting farmers essentially more money to be made. So I think this first year opens our eyes up in a big way, because we now realize that it is possible to make palm oil sustainable, and for this farmers specifically, it's about making more profits out of their land. And to do this is essentially by cutting down your cost of production and maintaining your yields in a much more natural way. And this is really just about bringing organic content back into your soils. That to me was the sort of main highlight for this year. It's sort of this confirmation that what we thought about maybe 1 or 2 years ago actually starts to make sense. The dream has always been that sustainable palm oil or certified palm oil is already a way to uplift smallholders. And I think what we've seen is that that helps, and we can go a longer way by also then focusing around improvements in terms of farm production and specifically about managing their soils. And I think that's the big result from this year, is the conviction that the model for sustainable palm oil is about living soils. And how to do this, these are the ideas which are now firming up. So as we move forward to next year, it's actually going to be much easier to take those ideas into more concrete action, which farmers can now accept and basically start to implement. Right. So this part of sustainable production is about creating value for the farmer. Because for him, his relationship ends at his buyer's door. So for most of these farmers, they're selling to traders. And as long as he has his money, that's all he cares about. The complications of the supply chain is that most of the traders and most of the mills are not even aware that the concern or the interest to make sure that there's farmers who are certified in their supply chain is not a concern for the farmer. But it's something where the refiners who are supplying to the global markets, they actually want to know that if I'm buying from a mill A or B, what proportion of that is from certified farmers. So traceability at the very base level between farm and the trader is a key gap that the palm oil industry actually hasn't found a solution for. So like finding solutions for farm production, how do you get better production? This idea of finding a way to incentivize or to motivate a dealer to use the app in the first place is already going to be the first challenge. If we have adoption by the dealers, and if they start to use it, then this actually paves the way for essentially making sure that there is a workable solution for gaining traceability within a palm oil complex supply chain. The app is actually sort of a grassroots initiative, in the sense that it was something designed out of Indonesia, but this was a partnership between Switzerland and some app developers in Indonesia. But it was really looking at problems of kind of traceability in many different commodities. So the company is called Cultiva, And they've been exploring this in seaweed supply chains, and cocoa supply chains, and the palm oil supply chain. So to have this available, so the technology is available, there's an entire team of people who are making it work. Getting it to be used in a real supply chain with this interest from the market is actually going to be kind of interesting. But the first challenge is, how do we get the trader to want to use it? And how do we get him to start using it for every shipment that comes in from the farmers? And if we can solve that, it's like, then everything is plain sailing. I'm excited that there is support for these ideas that we have been floating. It's gone from an idea to reality in a very short period of time. So this year is almost going to be like a validation for very concrete activities. And if we can get through this next year, then I think this will pave the way to something much bigger that will unfold from there.